Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Swaggy P, and yes, it is T minus 2 days till EA Play. But you know what? It's time to consider wonderful aspects of video game development once again, and we're talking about the reasons as to why the basketball gaming community, not just NBA Live now, even though yes, for the most part this game was trolled, but the basketball gaming community, meaning both sides of the fence, agrees that NBA Live 15 was one of was the best title out of the three last installments. I am choosing to play my dynasty, and I am playing against the perfect team that will emphasize my point, which will show in gameplay exactly one of the main reasons, one of many reasons, but to me one of the main reasons as to why this game was well received. Of course, defensive efficacy was the other primary reason as well, but I'm going to focus on the excellence of physical gameplay. There is no doubt that NBA Live 15 was the most physical basketball video game simulation out of the last three installments. And because of these wonderful physical interactions that I'm going to play, it led to authentic simulation gameplay, especially in head-to-head experiences. But we're gonna dive into it, and we're gonna emphasize and look at the wonderful ragdoll physics that was exhibited in this title that literally gave birth to the NBA Live movement. Shout out to my brothers on that side of the fence who holds it down. I streamed this game fervently, and I've witnessed the onboarding that occurred from the other side because of their physical principles of gameplay and also defensive efficacy. Stay tuned for part 2 of that video, because I will be discussing that in part 2 as one of the many reasons as to why NBA Live 15 is well received by many in the basketball gaming community. In spite of its, once again, rugged features, it wasn't all there physically. It was the physical gameplay that showed and that was displayed that allowed individuals to enjoy this game thoroughly. I played this game so much, so much. I don't even want to make mention as to the amount of games I played. Literally, I was at a point to where I needed therapy. This game was just, so enjoyable to me because of the, physical interactions. The Grizzlies was the team that I would have the most defeating when I first came onto the game because of how physical they were on both sides of the ball. And as you can see there, Jeremy Lin immediately upon the drive is interacting physically with the player. I mean, literally. And because of these physical interactions, it made it very difficult for those who were not used to the NBA Live series coming in for the first time to adjust to it. I mean, a lot of people literally complained that they couldn't dribble past the CPU's defense because of how physical the game was. How physical the game was on every aspect. In the paint, out in the perimeter, I mean, full court, even while attacking the lane. And I believe those assets and animations were absolutely beautiful. The game was extremely unbalanced offensively, as I'm talking about mid-range shooting and the lack thereof. But what was in the gameplay that was significant to me was, once again, oh, my controller seems to have an error here. I mean, literally. But there we go. Cover itself. What was significant was the ball tangibility. The way the players would react and how they would be impeded if the defender reacted appropriately to the offensive player. There you go, an example of physical gameplay there with Marc Gasol. Now, I'm speaking in live commentary as I play this game. Like I said, I had thorough love for this product. I still agree that NBA Live 14 was the most sim because of the balance that was exhibited in gameplay between offensive, defensive, and defensive counterparts. NBA Live 15, in my opinion, was primarily a defensive game that had the offensive philosophy of Mike D'Antoni of the Houston Rockets. Now, for those of you who truly know basketball, Mike D'Antoni's philosophy of basketball was either three-point shots or layups and dunks, and that exactly describes the gameplay of NBA Live 15. It's either three-point shots, layups, or dunks. You either were going to score from the outside, but you were not going to score. You literally were not going to score from the mid-range. You know, you're either going to score inside or you're going to excel very well in the three-point shot. But individuals still love this game because, you know, the defensive balance that was exhibited in this game gave players the capacity to feel as if they had a chance to shut down their opponent, and that was effectively translated because of the physical interactions that was exhibited in this gameplay. Look at this. I mean, every interaction. Now, I'm trying to escape the physical aspect of the gaming here. I'm not really embracing it 110%. I'm escaping it. That's because I picked up a few dribble moves to dribble around the CPU. But I just totally love this aspect of gameplay because of the effectiveness of this physical interactions and certain animation sequences that just look authentic to life. These principles, of course, were evaluated in NBA Live 16, and it was puzzling to me. The only theory that I came up with as to why this may have been true was due to the fact that in NBA Live 15, in order for you to be effectively physical on the defense end, you had to hand check your opponent, which is not legal in today's NBA. That is actually a foul, but it still led to wonderful defensive sequences. There's an example there of me getting shut down by Conley defensively. I mean, just phenomenal defense, and yeah, people really had a hard time, especially those who came from the competitor and played this game for the first time. They really had a hard time adjusting to how effective defense was and how physical the gameplay was on their hands. I mean, it literally, when you would counter the CPU, at times it felt like you were placed in front of a wall. And the thing that was so amazing about, you know, this item of physical gameplay was that it was legit. It was justifiable. I mean, Jeremy Lin legitimately got stopped right there by Conley. Let's see if I can take this baseline here. It goes Kobe. That's just Kobe escaping the defensive pressure. And once again, I will also emphasize some of the layup finishes in the game that made it authentic. I just loved the way the characters would drive to the basket. I mean, if you look at it in comparison to other titles, it was just absolutely legit. I honestly believe emphasizing in physical interactions for future installments and making them look true to life, just like we did here in NBA Live 15, would be beneficial for the live series going forward. My gosh, I mean, Mike Conley's defense is absolutely phenomenal. Let's see if I can escape here. All right, oh, I might have to take the shot. That's an ill-advised shot. Okay, if anybody could hit that shot, it's definitely Kobe. But I would like to hear your comments. I would like to hear what you think made NBA Live 15 so well received by the basketball gaming community. I want to know wholeheartedly. I mean, I'm just expressing one reason as to why this is true. I mean, but when you look at these animation sequences as I attack the lane and the whistle is blown, you can legitimately see where the foul occurred. And this is an item of gameplay that I truly missed in NBA Live, especially in NBA Live 16. The wonderful authentication of physical interactions between both offensive and defensive counterparts, even if it's based upon a principle that no longer is legal in the NBA today, which is hand checking. I remember when Cash Nasty, shout out to him, streamed this game. He did troll it because of some of his graphical features and some of the difficulties he had playing the game. But in one benefit, he did say this: "Well, at least you can play defense," and that I believe was something that I personally believe should have been preserved going into the next installment. A lot of individuals, especially myself, were expecting a progressive build from this title. Um, and this is why, as a community advocate, I wanted to preserve the feedback that came from those who played the game consistently. Um, because I question where, the identity of the feedback from the community came from for NBA Live 16, because the principles that were so great in this game were absolutely evacuated. They were eliminated. I mean, you would literally see, look at these interactions. You would see these players responding physically and trying to avoid the physical and, physical aspect of the defender by executing certain moves to be successful. I am going to be a little long-winded in here because I want to capture some more physical sequences. Let's go ahead and do this here. The paint game, although rigid, was good. You can see height and weight being emphasized. That's a penalty on me, 5 seconds, of course, back to the basket. And you were able to contend defensively in the paint as well, by anticipating whether the player was going to turn right or spin to the middle or do a pro hop. If you predicted where the offensive player was going to go defensively, you would be able to impede them physically in more ways than one. And I literally feel the resistance of my stick. Look at that layup animation. That's something that's under the that is under the hood, that a lot of people do not know about. But I would love personally triggering these animations to avoid the physical contact. And there you go, get the and one. And like I said, I'm gonna replay this sequence and I'm going to be done. Shout out to you guys. This is just part 1 of the series that shows how you can literally see where the foul is called. You get the drive here, and the whistle is blown there. And there's contact there. That is a foul animation, but look at the player making an attempt to avoid the block and finish the play, thus giving the and one. Now, although, the play, a gameplay, like I said, in this game was imbalanced because there was no mid-range. Like I said, it was a Mike D'Antoni style of gameplay. We loved it. I loved it. We couldn't get enough of it. And we were hoping that, this aspect of gameplay would come back for NBA Live 16. And it did not. And it was probably one of the many reasons as to why Live 16 was ill-received. Although the game of NBA Live 16 is aesthetic graphically, these wonderful principles of gameplay did not make its face in that installment, at least not initially. And we saw the reintroduction of some of those principles of gameplay coming back after patch 1.06 in NBA Live 16. Well, this is one of many reasons. Like I said, this is part 1 of 3. I'm going to explain many other reasons as to why NBA Live 15 was well received by the basketball gaming community. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And tell me, what do you feel, or why do you believe NBA Live 15 was well received? Shout out to Gerard Butler in the NBA Live Facebook group. He read my mind because I was planning on doing this for a long time. EA Play is around the corner. So, let's talk. Let's get to work as a community to make NBA Live that well-balanced basketball video game that we know it can be. Hit me up, you guys. Until next time, look for the next video, and I'm out, you guys. 1.